You walk into a room full of people you know and still feel completely alone. You smile, you participate, but something inside you stays on the outside, watching. If you've ever felt like a guest in your own life, this video will finally explain why, and why it's not a flaw in you. You feel like an undercover agent in a world where everyone else got the instruction manual except you. While others move naturally through conversations and relationships, you stand just outside the moment, quietly noticing the invisible patterns everyone else seems to miss. If you've spent your life feeling like a guest in your own skin, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. For many people, this persistent feeling of being an outsider isn't about lacking social skills. It's about living with a level of awareness that turns every room into a quiet investigation. Think about a normal Tuesday at work. Your boss messages, "See me at 4." Your coworkers barely react, but your mind immediately starts scanning every conversation from the past week. Was there something in their tone? Did you miss a mistake? You don't just hear what people say. You notice the 3-second delay before a smile reaches their eyes. You catch when their voice rises half a note while pretending everything is fine. Psychologists call this thin slicing, your brain's remarkable ability to detect subtle patterns from tiny pieces of information. You're watching the backstage of the play, while everyone else enjoys the performance. This heightened awareness often begins in childhood, not because you wanted it, but because you needed it. Maybe you grew up in a home where you never quite knew what kind of evening was waiting behind the front door. Without realizing it, you learned to notice the smallest details, the sound of footsteps, the way a cabinet closed, or the silence that filled a room. Years later, those habits may still be with you. You trust yourself because you've spent so much of your life believing you had to. And sometimes, asking for help feels difficult, not because you're incapable, but because you've become used to carrying things on your own. But this mastery comes with a hidden price. You walk into any room and instantly scan for hidden tensions, avoided glances, or shifts in breathing. Your brain runs a constant background analysis. Social situations become mentally exhausting because you're processing far more than most people. This is why solitude isn't always avoidance. Sometimes it's recovery. Another layer is the absence of emotional mirroring. If your feelings weren't reflected back to you as a child, you may have grown up struggling to fully identify your own emotions, a pattern called alexithymia. You watch others feel deeply passionate and quietly wonder what that actually feels like. To compensate, you became a master adapter, adjusting your personality, humor, and opinions to fit in. But over time, you begin asking the frightening question, who am I when no one is watching? When overwhelmed, you probably don't yell or argue. You go quiet. This silence isn't the silent treatment. It's often a protective freeze response, your nervous system trying to hold itself together when words disappear and thoughts tangle. You may also live with what Carl Jung called the provisional life, the feeling that your real life hasn't started yet. Relationships, career, even your current city can feel temporary. As long as you don't fully commit, you don't risk discovering that ordinary life might actually be enough. Sometimes your clarity makes you feel like Cassandra from Greek mythology. You see the truth clearly, but others don't want to hear it. The way forward isn't becoming less aware. It's learning that awareness doesn't always require action. You don't have to solve every problem you notice. You don't have to expose every mask you recognize. Wisdom is knowing which truths deserve your energy and which ones you can simply observe. Your sense of being an outsider isn't a flaw in your design. It's the landscape where your clarity was formed. You were never meant to fit perfectly into every room. Perhaps your role was simply to notice what others couldn't. Being different isn't the same as being alone. And the loneliness you've carried may simply be the quiet space where the truest version of yourself has been patiently taking shape. If this perspective helped you understand yourself better, subscribe for more psychology that explores the hidden patterns behind human behavior. Share this video with someone who also speaks the language of the observer. And tell me in the comments, what part of your outsider perspective has become your greatest strength? Let's find the other outliers together.